Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another video. And first of all, I just wanted to say happy new year. We made it, y'all. We made it to the other side. We saw 365 days of grace, and that in and of itself is something to just be grateful for. 2019, I know, with every year that comes, there's the promise of something new. The newness of it all just kind of brings with itself like excitement and energy and vitality for the new year, and we're just all excited. Like, we just all have this energy to go and get things done, and that's amazing. Just as long as we understand that nothing works until we do, and we can be our biggest obstacles, but we can also be our biggest blessings if we change the way that we think about things. I just really hope that 2019 will be an amazing year for you. I think what I have settled in my spirit is that the very essence of a good year does not mean the absence of difficulties or hardships or challenges. We do not know what the year brings, but we do know that God holds the earth in the palm of his hands. That should give us surety, that should give us peace, that whatever happens, it is ultimately for our own good. If not that we win, we will definitely learn a lot from the year. I just pray for two things for you in 2019. I pray for good health, and two, I just pray for peace. I think just peace of mind and peace of heart. I'm the eternal optimist, so I truly pray that it goes well and you just achieve all that you desire to achieve, and you grow in the ways that you desire to grow. But even if that is not the case, he is still good. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. I'm going to get started with this get ready with me, and I'm obviously going to start with my eyes. I've done my eyebrows. Let me just say, my eyebrows are a -10 right now. I don't like them very much, but sometimes you have to move on with life and accept things for what they are. However, if you are interested in terms of how I do my brows, my current eyebrow routine video that's on my channel, that still is very much applicable as far as the technique. I still use the products in that particular video, but I wanted to just share my current favorite eyebrow product, which is the LA Girl Slim, wait, I always want to say Slim Shady because Slim Shady. It is the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil in the shade medium brown. That's what I've been using for my brows. That's been like my favorite product to be using. However, I have run out. It's literally finished. I've reached the end of this particular product, and today in particular I did go back to an oldie but a goodie, which is the pencil that I featured in my eyebrow routine that I will definitely link in the cards below so that you can check it out if you haven't. And it is the Essence Brow Designer. This is like an OG, you guys, and it is quite affordable, so like it just makes me happy. And finally, to kind of set my eyebrows, I did use the Wet n Wild Mega Clear Mascara. This is basically my favorite product to set my brows. I've been using this for a while, probably 2-3 years now. So yeah, that's my brow situation going on. That's how I got my brows. Like I said, like, this is not my best job. This is not reflective of my abilities, so please forgive me, grace me just for today. Okay, and then for my eyeshadow and my eye look, I'm gonna be using two palettes that have been my ultimate favorite in 2018. And the first one, which is the one that I bought, I think I actually bought this at the end of last year because I remember using it last year. It is the Beauty Treats Deluxe Pro palette. That's how it looks like on the outside. I really love the packaging of this. Like, don't you just love it when products have pretty packaging? It just makes life better. It just makes life more beautiful. So this is how it looks like in the inside. It does look like I haven't used it, but I promise you I have. These are all the shades, the eyeshadow shades of the palette, and then you've got like what did they say, 4 blushes and 2 bronzers. So yeah, that has been a fave of mine. And then a second fave, the Revolution Pro HD Amplified 35 palette, and this is how this looks like. Yeah, I have used it a few times as well. I am planning on actually filming a review of the palette, so if you are interested in that, definitely stay tuned to the channel. I'm gonna go straight into doing my makeup look. Obviously this is a favorites video. I'm trying to do it differently this time around. Instead of just telling you guys the products that I loved using in 2018, I thought it would be better to just be using them. I'm gonna get started off with priming my face, and an oldie and a goodie, and something that you're probably just like tired of seeing on my channel. It's the NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer. This is all that I use. I am in the market for trying out a new primer because I've been using this primer since forever. So I am thinking of getting the Smashbox, is it Photo Finish? It has quite a similar kind of packaging to actually the next one, because my biggest thing is just like minimizing my pores as far as my requirements when I am using a primer. So that's what I'm planning on trying out. But yeah, I'm pretty basic with primer. I don't feel like there's a need to be exploring, you know, all sorts of different types of primers, especially if it ain't broke, why fix it type thing. So yeah, I'll just be trying a new primer just for the sake of saying that I tried a new primer. But for the most part, I'm very content with this particular primer, and it just works. Like, it gets the job done, and that's what you want. I'm getting slightly annoyed with the weather. I mean, we brought in 2019 with rain, and the weather just has not been cooperating. And obviously I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube. You didn't hear that from me. Came in, but then the weather just hasn't been the greatest. So I see it trying to sabotage me. But anyway, happy 2019, by the way. I don't think I said that. Okay, the next fave, this is a definite fave. Obviously I have a whole review on this particular foundation, and I have been raving about it a little bit too much at this point, but it's just that amazing, and that is the Maybelline Super Stay foundation. How are y'all doing? How's life treating you guys? How's 2019 so far? And it was just something that I wanted to just reflect on. I'm in a very interesting place spiritually. I've been going through like a season of wilderness, nah? And so it's like you've been like consistently in this season of like just test after test after test, and literally wrestling with God, like wrestling, like proper wrestling with the Lord, right? You just reach like this high where it all comes together, like, and it all comes together at the same time. This rush of lessons coming at you, like boom 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 boom. The epiphany, if you will, of everything that he's done that you saw or didn't see, or you had a realization of, or you didn't have a realization of, but everything is just like boom. And I feel like that whole like season of just asking that question constantly, like year in year out, like a year comes and a year ends, and you're just like, what is the point, Lord, you know? And I think it assisted in painting the picture so vividly to me, as far as who I am, and as in light of who God is, not just who I am, but like who I am because of who God is, and then the implication of how I then live my life. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my face, and I have been loving like 3 concealers in 2018. Obviously this one is the Maybelline concealer, and then the 2 that I did try out this year is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24 Hour concealer in the shade what is this, in the shade light medium. And then I've also been loving the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer in the this one is in the shade Glow. I'm not a big fan of the shade. I feel like the shade is a bit too light for me, but I definitely love the concealer itself, the consistency. It's just very lightweight. Both of them are very lightweight concealers. I think this one has a bit more coverage than this one, and the Maybelline one has it's quite lightweight as well, but it doesn't necessarily compromise on the coverage. It's not super coverage and heavy, but for how light it is, it definitely packs a punch, if you know what I mean. So I like all three of them. I'm not really sure how I would rank them but as far as like price point wise, Maybelline is definitely the cheapest of the three, and then NYX, and then Smashbox is the most expensive. But I genuinely like all three. Speak to me. But I don't know if you've ever been, have you ever wanted something badly? Like you want something, and not that the thing itself is a bad thing, you just genuinely, you just have a desire in your heart for something. You put your mind to it and you're like, you know what, this is what I want out of my life, and I'm gonna work hard towards it. And it's over a period of time. So during that period of time, you're focused, you're applying yourself, you are working hard, you are learning lessons throughout the period. Like I was praying for this thing, and for me it meant more in terms of me trusting God at his word. And then you get the thing. Next, I was like, dang, I really overestimated what this would mean to me, like, and how I would feel when it happened to me. Like, I'm happy, like I genuinely am happy that this is happening to me, but I'm not as happy as I thought I would be. I was even slightly disappointed in how it just didn't satisfy me and make me happy as much as I thought it would. Granted, I've learned a lot about myself in the process, and thankfully I have learned so much about God in this process that I would never, you know, trade for anything or anyone. What God was trying to show me in my walk is that, like, I was created inherently to want intimacy and fellowship with him, to be fully plugged into who he is, and to walk in that truth. And not like that I consciously knew that, you know, I'm looking for this thing to satisfy me, or I'm looking for this thing to fulfill me. It was just the realization that this thing is inherently limited in its ability to satisfy. And by the very nature of who created me, I was yearning for something more. And that something more is Jesus. That something more is true fellowship and intimacy with God. It's okay to desire things, but understand that things are limited, and you should not be putting things above that intimacy and that relationship. But another thing that I saw myself doing is that as soon as I got this thing, I was on to the next thing. I was like, okay, what's next? And I just realized, like, it'll always be this elusive thing that you're chasing, one after the other, after the other, after the other. That desiring more has a lot to do with your soul yearning, your soul longing for something more, you know, whole. And you're not in tune with your spirit. You just like taking the earth for what it is, and you just here to consume what the earth is here to give you. And you're just taking and just trying to temporarily, you know, quench that thirst that you have. So you just like, I want this, I want that, I'm on to the next thing. And in this moment of me kind of wanting to be on to the next thing, I literally remember being like, you will never be satisfied. And it was more of an admonition. Like, I was like rebuking myself in that moment. That was God telling me, you will never be satisfied if you're looking outside, outwardly, to satisfy that yearning that you have for me. And not to say that those things cannot make you joyful. They do, and sometimes they disappoint in how much they're able to bring you joy. surely the approach should be, Lord, I want that intimacy with you, and then everything else that I do pours out from that understanding that only God can truly satisfy in the way that my spirit yearns for. And I would be so mistaken to be looking outwardly for this satisfaction that is elusive, because you will never find it. You will search and you will search and you will tire. And when you come to the end of yourself in that search, God will be there saying, I was always here, just waiting for you to seek me, because I can give you that satisfaction that you think is out there when it is above, you know? So, dang, did it disappoint? Like, I was just like, okay, all right, it's great or whatever, but like, okay, then what? You know? Like, and then literally I was on to the next thing. I'm like, really? Is that what life is all about? A little bit more, and always a little bit more. Yeah, it just kind of caught me in my tracks, and I just needed to be like, okay, God, I hear you. I totally get it. It kind of gave me perspective in a way that I never got, you know? And it humbled me. It really, really humbled me. Truly, to what end are you going to keep pursuing? To what end? And when is it enough? Like, when have you reached the point where you're like, yeah, this is it? And I realized, like, there's never an end to this desire, because there's always going to be something more to reach out for. And listen, I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with wanting more. I think God is constantly working on us to become more. That's something that I truly value, that I'm constantly becoming, like, better today than yesterday and better tomorrow than today, as one of my favorite pastors would say. But like, it needs to be in the right context of, in us becoming more, we are becoming more for His delight. And ultimately, us becoming more for His delight should delight us. So it even puts perspective as to the things that you value, the things that you're willing to pour your heart into, because you understand that it should always be about Him and not just this elusive, I want more because I can have more, you know? It blew my mind. And I'm still kind of like unpacking that lesson and that revelation. But yeah, let me go ahead and set my highlight. A fave. This is definitely something that I bought this year, I think, and it is the Maybelline Master Fix Setting and Perfecting Loose Powder. Listen, I dig this product. I really, really dig it. Another thing that kind of happened was that, like, you know, when you're like in the process of getting somewhere, another thing that I did in that moment was starting to compare myself to knowing that, oh, but like other people are at step 2 of 3, or they're actually at step 3 of 3 of this process that I'm still undergoing. And like that caused me anxiety, and I was like, oh, you know, like I still haven't done much. And I was completely disregarding the work that God was doing in me, because I'm saying I've learned so much through that process, and I was like completely like, I don't care, God, what you've done and what you're doing. I want to focus on that. I want that. I want to be at step 3. And God is like, what? Like, literally, it was like He was slapping me. Have you ever, because I remember there was a moment where I don't know what was happening with my mom and I. Like, we were talking about something, and I said something disrespectful, clearly. Oh, I look crazy, don't mind me. And she was like, get la hot clap, basically meaning I will give you a hot clap. Like, I was sober. I was like, oh, she's real, she's serious right now, she's not joking with me, she ain't playing with me right now. And I was set straight. Like, I was set straight, because I was like, yes, mama, yes, I hear you, I get you, yeah. That's how it was kind of coming off when I was having that thought. Like, it was like this literal rebuke of, don't you even dare. I was personally upset at myself for that, because it was like I was completely disregarding the process that I had been going through with God. and knowing exactly how much I had learned and how much, like, you know, I had grown just as a person and just spiritually, I was like, how dare you? How dare you? And the thing about it is that it takes away from who you are as God's child. Like, I matter to God, you know. He knitted me in my mother's womb. He knows me personally, and he cares about every detail of my life. So for me to reduce that to just like, but look at what you're doing in this person's life, it wasn't right. And it further takes away from who God is. You still want to look to the right. Like, I literally feel like in that moment God was like shouting at me. Like, I just always look at God as from like a parent to child relationship. There are times where your parent will like reprimand you and just talk to you, and then there are times where they just like, they're fuming because they're upset at you in terms of like your inability to get it. And I felt like in that moment I was that child, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like I see the error in my ways. I see the error in the way that I'm thinking, and I rebuke that thought. We take every thought captive and we make it obey to the word of God. And so I had to do that in that moment. God is doing a thing in me, a good thing in me. This is the process that I'm in, and I trust you. I truly trust that you are forever doing a good work in me, you know. And I'm still kind of trying to renew my mind in learning this whole idea that it all has to point back to him, you know. The process, if that's what I needed to go through to grow in the relationship that I now have with the Lord, then so be it. Though he slay me, I will trust him. And as difficult as it is to say those words, I've seen God slay me, and I was just like, why, God? But it's because I didn't understand that it all has to point back to him. It's not just about me and what I want and what I need to achieve and what my happiness, and you get what I'm saying? So yeah, and that kind of piggybacks, I feel like I'm not saying it right, but it piggybacks on the whole point of just where I'm going with my YouTube channel, you guys. I look very like ashy. So I'm gonna use a fave. This is a fave. This is the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. Listen, MAC did good with this one. My favorite contour product of 2018 has to be the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in the shade medium to dark. This is a fave, you guys. This is a proper fave, and I'm gonna obviously be reaching out for this dark shade, the darkest shade in here. And I really like this product. It is everything and more, and I've been gravitating more towards like powder contour. I find that it's less messy, I feel, than cream contour. I still do cream contour, but for the most part I find that I enjoy powder contouring more than cream contouring. So this product really does the things for me. Also where I'm kind of feeling like I am with my channel, and I've just been longing to change the name of my channel, but it happened very suddenly. It wasn't something that I contemplated. It just came to me, and the more I thought about it, the more it kind of just made sense. And perhaps it's just talking like prophetically as far as like where I'm headed with my channel, because I don't think like it's a major change to what my channel name is right now. My channel name, funny enough, once I found this name, it started to like irritate me and make me cringe. I was just like, Pabi's diary, ew, cringe. I have no idea why, because I've loved that name so much, but all of a sudden I was just like, Pabi's diary, what? And the new name sounded just like, yeah, that's more representative of what I truly want this channel to mean to me, or what it means to me, and where I want to take it. because another thing is that God showed me you are playing small with this channel. God is so purposeful in creating us. I love beauty, I love makeup, I love girly things. Listen, I'm a girly girl at heart. That's just who I am. You can't separate the two. And I don't doubt the fact that I should be doing YouTube. So the two things just worked. They just, you know, when it just fits, right? And I've never had doubts about that. In the midst of all of that, I think it's just been a progressive thing. I don't think like I started my YouTube channel like doing like what I wasn't supposed to be doing. I truly believe it is part of the evolution and the kind of like the playing out of what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. And he was nudging me throughout last year. I was just like, and hence I went through that funk where I was just like, what the heck is going on here? And then eventually now that's where like I keep kind of getting an in-depth look into what does this more look like. He's saying even on the foundation you've built, you can do a bit more, like to point back to me, really, you know. I know that it's kind of like it's taking a different kind of feel, and I've been too comfortable with what this means, and I'm just like, you know what, like let's just see where it goes. But let's not be afraid to try new things because we are comfortable with what we know. So yeah, that's just a little insight into maybe the name change and just what that means, you know, for the channel. And yeah, that's that.